Let's break this down over this next 5 minutes that we have. So we're looking for that uptrend to form and hold, and then we're gonna look for a crack of that uptrend. There we go, guys. See it starting to get weaker? See it start to get weaker? $1,500 on the day now. You might get halted on the downside here. Might get halted on the downside. Traders, let's talk about what we have going on today. Let's talk about the trades that we've made already. Let's talk about the upcoming trades, and let's make sure every single person is prepared. So, as we get ready for this day, I do want you guys to be aware already I have 2 trades. One of them was successful, one of them was not successful. So I am currently sitting in the red slightly with a $600 loss. Now you might say, what did you trade? What were you getting involved in? So let's go over this really quickly just to get everyone all caught on up. So at this moment, I am sitting with a $600 loss going into today. The 2 trades that I made in pre-market was number 1, I traded SNTG. SNTG, I got involved on this play at 710, 711, 712, and that was me shorting the play. I got filled at 457, 455, 457, and I got out of it at 443, 443, 444. So if we actually take a look over on this play, we could see SNTG, I actually got filled on this play when it spiked on up towards these highs and then started fading all the way back on down. I got filled at 710 on this red candle after the very big spike, and I shorted it as we started fading and falling, and I got out before this big green candle happened and then a nice big dump off happened. I was able to make a nice solid profit of just underneath $200. Now, the one I actually took the biggest loss on, which was about $796, was SIDU. Now, why did I take a loss over on SIDU? SIDU, unfortunately, went on a very quick spike and gave everything back. So SIDU actually went from $15, spiked up to $18, then just came right back on down. Now, why did I jump in on SIDU? Well, I was watching the news scanner and I saw that SIDU achieves critical artificial intelligence and has a hardware contract. So it's like, I'm seeing it achieved, I'm seeing artificial intelligence, I'm seeing contract, all great keywords that we usually like to look for. So guess what I did? I again jumped in on this play, I got filled, and unfortunately it just came right back on down. I was looking to get filled as one of the first people to be in on this play. Remember, SIDU, this stock came out at 8:30 with the top press release. I got filled at 8:30. So I was going to be one of the first people in on this play from looking at the news scanner, finding the news, seeing achieve, seeing contracts, seeing a big spike, and I was looking for it to break $20 and go on a rip and run. I only did 500 shares. It wasn't the biggest amount in the world, but I wanted to give it a chance in case it did go on a monster spike. So even though I'm in on the red, it's a reasonable loss. It's not anything I can't overcome. So let's dive in on this day today, and let's make sure every single trader understands what is going on into this day. What we have here, traders, scrolling on down here, we have welcome back. Stocks rebounded on Monday following a week of losses to kick off the year. The broad S&P 500 finished about 1.4% higher, while the tech-laden NASDAQ jumped a stellar 2.2%. The Dow only improved by about half a percentage point as the component Boeing slid weighed on the blue chip index. This week, investors have their mind on inflation with the consumer price index and the producer price index due on Thursday and Friday. Also, earnings season is beginning. So traders, I want you guys to realize something. I am going to be going over a game plan today. We are going to talk about our game plan. We're going to review this game plan. We're going to get every single trader dialed in. But this game plan might change starting on Thursday if the CPI data is crazy. If we have crazy CPI data, we could see the S&P 500 go on a massive spike. We could see the S&P 500 go on a massive dump. So everything I go over talking about the upcoming future, that can change depending on what comes on out on Thursday with the CPI data. Okay, we have to talk about what's going to happen on the S&P 500 today. What's going on with the SPY? What's going to happen with NVDA? Well, traders, I'm going to read this game plan and then we will go over all of it. So it says SPY game plan. This is why I love trend lines. Yesterday, the alert that I gave and worked 100% perfectly. We saw the week-long downtrend break and that downtrend led to a massive spike of $8. Today, we are looking for the same setup. But instead, we are focusing on where old highs were, which are now going to hold up as supports. What I see is 471 being the strong line of support, which is where the perfect bounce play should be today. I would wait to purchase calls until we fall to 471 and then look to re-enter. As long as we stay above 470, I see the SPY being very bullish over the next 1 to 2 weeks. CPI data on Thursday is the only thing that can change this plan. So what I want everyone to do at this moment is go over to the S&P 500, switch on over to that 30-minute time frame just like we did yesterday, and this is exactly the same exact setup as we had yesterday. So yesterday, what were we looking at? You guys knew that we had our old high, you guys could see our old high, and you guys could see how we broke that high. Yesterday, all it came on down to was when we break this purple line. When we break this purple line, we were going to get bullishness because we couldn't break it here, we couldn't break it here, we couldn't break it up here. So once we broke this purple line, we were taking on off. We were getting good volume. We were getting good hype in action. That's what we like, okay? Now, with that being stated today, we have this massive rip and now we're starting to fall. So where are we going to get a dip buy or bounce play? The best dip buy and best bounce play is going to be at this old area of support, which is going to be right around 471, which is also going to be right around this consolidation area, which is also going to be right around this old high, which is also going to be right around this old high, which is slightly above this old high, which probably is going to be, I think, the best dip buy right here. That is what I am looking for at this moment. And that is going to be right around that 471 mark. So the S&P 500, I would say watch for a pullback back down towards the low 471s. If you can get a dip buy at around 471, perfect. So the S&P 500 here, traders, we want to keep our eyes peeled on this. Now, on top of that, guys, we also do have NVDA. Now, NVDA has been a very hot stock, and NVDA has been one of the best performers so far already in 2024. Let's connect the dots. Connect this bottom to this bottom. Keep again going on up. Can we connect actually these bottoms here? A little bit. It's a little steep here. You know, this is a little bit steep. What would you guys say would maybe be like the best case scenario? I'm going to actually scroll in a little bit closer to like a 10-minute time frame. I would say when I take a look at this, we might get some sort of like head and shoulders pattern. When I'm taking a look at this, I see little spike, drop. This spike is slightly higher than this one. I think if it does drop on down and start popping, we might have another little shoulder before we do get that nice little pullback. I do think at the start of the day, it seems like we are going to get a pullback. Right now, NVDA is pointing on down. NVDA has support at around 521. When I take a look over on the S&P 500, S&P 500 is pointing on down. S&P 500 has room to fall back on down towards around 471. So it seems like a lot of these plays are already pointing down. Seems like a lot of these plays already have a little bit of that room to fall as well. So I do like the opportunity right off the rip for the S&P 500 to drop right at the start here. So this play at this time is obviously starting to get a little bit weaker, has room to fall down towards, again, 1340, but I'm still nervous that it's just going to still get this like random bounce. It's still just holding up very, very well. It's still holding up very well. This thing went straight on up. It's not going straight down. This one is basically every time it's, you know, gets a little pullback, it seems like it's still holding its gains. I'm trying to find the perfect uptrend that's actually going to basically hold as our uptrend, right? We're going to have an uptrend that have to form, and then we're going to look for a crack of that uptrend. So we're looking for that uptrend to form and hold, and then we're going to look for a crack of that uptrend. Underneath this orange line is basically, you know, where I think I'm going to pull the trigger to be able to see this thing fade and fall all the way down towards like $12. You know, that's where I think we get a much better sell-off where I can feel more confident on my trade, but I do want to give it some time, see it, you know, make sure I'm not going to get caught up in a squeeze, you know, all the way back up to $15 plus. So this is why I did not short it just yet. I don't want to get filled if all of a sudden we get halted back above $15. NEXI getting weaker, guys. NEXI is starting to crack a little bit. NEXI's got to crack this line. Oh, still bouncing. So NEXI, every time it looks like it's about to, you guys can see it just bounces right back on up. So every time I'm thinking about getting ready for that short, I'm happy to stay patient on this. I'm happy to stay patient. We're currently up 83%, has a lot of room to fall, has a lot of room to be able to fade. Another little upper shadow, still slightly holding the VWAP. If we start cracking the VWAP, we could see that nice big crack, and that's going to be a crack that you want to take your profits probably pretty quickly on. It looks like it's getting weaker coming on down towards that VWAP area. Need to see that VWAP crack. It looks like it's like slowing down, getting ready for that sell-off. I'm going to give it a chance here. Giving it a chance. I'm in at 1303. Not the best entry in the world. Can this one again, you know, get that sell-off right now? Go all the way on down towards like 1260. I want to see if we can get that sell-off right here. Biggest issue would be a lower shadow right back on up above that VWAP. As long as we stay underneath that VWAP, we're good to go. Guys, we're starting to crack, guys. 1,500 shares starting to crack. Starting to crack right now, team. Let's see if we can keep getting weaker. Let's see if we can get weaker. Guys, we might get halted on the downside here. Might get halted on the downside. LULD, come on, stay halted on the downside. Get halted, get halted, get halted. 1267, not halted yet, not halted yet. Almost halted, almost halted. We need these to zero out. We need these to zero out here. Still not halted. We're still not halted yet. Okay, we're halted. Now, best case scenario is a gap down. So if NEXI can get this crack, that is going to be absolutely beautiful. Absolutely great. Be able to make us a lot of money and be very solid. Get ourselves back into the green on the day. Now, did everyone see what we looked for? Now, let's break this down over this next 5 minutes that we have. Okay? We have NEXI, massive spike. I could have pulled the trigger up near $15, but it definitely is a higher risk. But higher risk does come with more reward. So NEXI, $15 would have been the best entry. What did I wait for? There are times that I've jumped in on shorts and it squeezes right back up to $16 plus. So I saw that we did have VWAP support. Let's just kind of put a line right across the board here. And then I also saw that we had lower highs. Now, if we have across the board and we have lower highs, that's now forming a wedge. Traders, if we saw the opposite of this, where we had higher lows and we had resistance across the board, what would we call this pattern? We would call this pattern an ascending triangle pattern, where we have higher lows, top resistance, we break on out. You guys could see higher lows, top resistance, we break on out. You guys could see higher lows, top resistance, we break on out. Higher lows, top resistance, we break on out. This is just the exact opposite, where we have lower highs with bottom supports and we crack on down. So NEXI traders, the only thing that's going to stink is that we are getting halted, right at an old halt area. I'm gonna let you guys know right now that this old halt area is going to most likely try to hold up as some sort of support line. The best thing that can happen is we gap down underneath this. Okay? That's what I would like to see. Gap down underneath this area to be able to make some money. Now let's see what time we're opening up at. NASDAQ trader / trader holds here. NEXI, we're going to be getting unhalted at 10:10 and 49 seconds. So this is what I am going to do here. I have 1,500 shares over on this play. If this one opens on up at the price of $12.50, I know it's probably going to get some sort of bounce play right back up towards around $13. If this play has a gap down, there is room to fall, but I'll be happy with my gap down profit. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go to NEXI, I'm going to do limit orders, and I'm going to do limit orders, guys, at the price of like $12.80. Now you might say, Deck, why are you doing limit orders at the price of like $12.80? Because if it opens up at $12.50, it's going to fill my order right away. If it opens up at the price of $11.15, it's going to fill my order right away. Really, what all I'm doing here is all I want, guys, is I just want to get filled right when this one opens on up. So I can go ahead and place limit orders now to get me filled the moment it opens on up on this play. If it gaps down, I'll take that profit and I'll be happy with it. If it gaps up, guess what? I'll get out of the play and at least I'll have something in the green. So, regardless, I'm happy with this trade. Regardless, I'm happy with the profit that we have. NEXI opening on up here in about 5 seconds. Come on, I want to just see $565 go up to like $1,000. NEXI, $1,200 in profit. Everyone stick with me right now, okay? This is what I'm seeing. Everyone scroll back very big. You guys can see right now, take a look at the bottom yellow line. What we have here is top resistance. You guys can see top resistance. You guys can see right here, top resistance. We can go across the board and we can also see we have higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. This is all lining up to basically where we're at right here, okay? So watch for another touch, and we might actually look for a possible SPX put contracts. See this thing start getting a little bit weaker, 4,750, put ourselves in the money a little bit right away. Just gonna go kind of like a day out just so I have a little bit of time. And let's wait for like that first red candle and then see this thing start reversing back on down here slightly. So let's get that little reversal candle. So here's that nice little top I'm thinking. Red candle should be coming on up here very soon. I am going to jump in right now and see if we can get a little bit of that reversal of a red candle coming on up. Only 5 contracts to start off with. But let's see if we can be able to add this and be able to make a little bit of money. Once we start going underneath 4,745, we actually should be able to get a little bit more as well. There we go, guys. See it starting to get weaker. See it starting to get weaker. See it starting to get weaker. I'm happy with just my 5 contracts. Let's see if we're going to get a drop here pretty soon. Give us that crack on down. We'll be willing to take in profits. I'm not going to get greedy. Guys, it's starting to happen. Starting to happen. Look, come on. Come on, SPX. Ah, so close. SPX, so close to getting that crack. So close to that little dump that I want here. We're up 250 now. Start to turn. Come on, SPX. Start to turn. SPX, start to turn here. We're up 250. 250 at this moment. Let's get that, drop on down towards 4,744. Still a little lower shadow. Guys, it looks like it's going to happen here. Come on. Get us that red candle. 400, 450. What do we want? $500? Guys, we're at $300 right now. $300, $400. Guys, $325. Let's just be happy campers. We'll take that. All right. $300 off that trade. I'll take that, guys. Now we are up almost $1,000 on the day. We're up 922 bucks. So NEXI, let's see if we can be able to break on up towards 1641 and basically just get that nice pop and then short it right back on down once we get up towards like $18 plus. NEXI has been going banana so far. The NEXI is creeping its way on up. We got up towards a high of 1657 so far. Come on, keep on breaking that. NEXI with the big upper shadow reversal. Thinking about giving this a chance to be able to make me some money on the short side here. Obviously, the stock just, got a little bit of a pop on up. Might get back on up towards around that 1550 mark. Thinking about getting involved on this play if we can get back up towards, again, that 1550 area and say, all right, Deck, look for maybe some little shorts at this mark, 1540, 1550, and see if this thing can be able to come back on down. Now, I will be a trader that's going to take profits when I have it. That's the type of trader I want to be here. Take profits when I have it. Guys, just got filled. Just got filled on this play at the price of what? 1544. 1544. I want to take profits when I have it. See if we can drop back on down towards, again, that purple line. Not going to, guys, we're up $1,500 almost on this, and this was from earlier. Remember, I already had $1,100, so we're up right now about 200 bucks over on this trade. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a red candle back down towards around this purple line, back on down towards sub $15. If we can go to sub $15, that's kind of like my goal on this trade. So let's see if we get a little pullback. Go on down towards like sub $15, get ourselves up over $1,000 on the day. Obviously, that's the goal that we're looking for. So let's see here. Guys, here's $15. Let's get a $15 crack. $15 crack. Can we get it? Oh, baby. $15 crack right here. $15 crack on the way. $14.90. Lock it up. Lock it up. There we go. $1,500 on the day now. $1,500 on the day now. Taking profits when I have it, not doing anything too crazy. 1,500 bucks right there. Now, did everyone see what we did? Now, let's break this down on the XI's. Got to crack this line. We might actually look for the possible SPX put contracts. I'm going to give it a chance here. $1,200 in profit.